Alright, we're Hawkbite here. Because people have been doing a lot of ground builds videos lately, I decided to do one talking about engineers. And while this isn't exactly what you would call a streamlined or, shall we say, intensely, what's the word for it? Optimized build. It's one that's something relatively easy to throw together and works reasonably well for almost everything. So, what is the premise of the build? First off, this is an engineer who does turret spams and fabrication spamming, except that's not a fabrication. But some of these are things that are very esoteric. Okay, one of them's esoteric. Photonic barrier generator. It's a defensive thing that doesn't heal you. It doesn't give you shielding. It gives you bonus hit points, which kind of acts like a secondary layer between your shielding and your actual hit points. And the amount that it gives you is pretty ridiculous because it says nearly 600 here. And that's, well, almost as many hit points as I actually have. So it functionally nearly doubles my hit points just by existing. Very powerful effect, to be honest. Anyways, so other things. Passive medical field generator. This is one of those where it doesn't seem like it does a whole lot when you first look at it until you realize that this is every single second, and anyone near you also applies. Doesn't work on robots though. Anyways, so basic ground equipment. I have a melee weapon for reasons I'll explain later, other than the fact that I just like melee. Random energy weapon that I happen to like the look of, and it actually has a useful effect. Note the whole critical chance buffing. Those are duty officers. These guys. The plus kit performance thing on this is actually really, really powerful. So, you know, you like zap enemies with your primary a few times. Throw down another fabrication, shoot a few more enemies, throw down another fabrication, and the plus to kit performance will increase the damage that your fabrications do, which is very useful. Okay, shield. It's a shield that goes with this armor. I don't actually remember why I decided to use the Undine counter command stuff, although it's certainly not a bad set. Yeah, I don't remember. That is a... Oh, the reduction to energy damage to shields is actually pretty good on this. Anyway, so this is a basic Romulan embassy kit. Relatively easy to get and quite effective. So, specific kit modules. Seeker Drone, I mean, it's a mobile fabrication that engineers have. I don't have anything that actually improves it here, though, unless these work on it. I don't actually know if those work on Seeker Drones. They might. I don't know. Attempting to parse the critical hit rate of a Seeker Drone is... I don't want to try. Okay, this thing. Now, you'll notice here it says 20% chance to create more. That is what this guy does. Which is pretty good, actually, to be honest. The trick with that one is that those will linger until they're destroyed or the timer runs out. Using the kit module repeatedly can create multiple sets of them. So you might actually end up with 5 mortars. Pretty good. Also, this is a neutronic mortar, which has a larger AoE than a standard mortar. More powerful? Not really. But, you know, it also has the effect of reducing the energy damage of enemies hit by it, which that is actually pretty cool. Oh, hey, it's a Romulan Flamethrower turret. It's an old one, but it works quite well. There is a similar thing to this that you can use to give you bonus beam turrets that I'm just not using in this particular build because I'm using other things. Okay, so the nurse. The crystal here, see it has a 20% chance beam down a medic to provide medical support. Because of the fact that the crystal is treated like a hypo, this works on it, and the crystal applies this effect to every player on your team, and thus there's a 20% chance per player to spawn a medic. Quite useful, to be honest. Granted, the medics, all they do is use medical tricorder on you as far as I know. They don't kill enemies, they just keep you from dying, or try to. I've seen them fail. It's unfortunate. Anyways, so now if you look at the weapon here, so it has the whole thing that's like 7.5% chance of a crit chance buff and a crit severity buff, which that's what these Q guys do. Obviously, purple versions of these duty officers exist that I think it gives you a 10% chance. I don't remember exactly. Remember, right, this particular one goes 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10. But I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, so they're useful if you have a build where you're planning to fire a ranged weapon like this a lot. Now, this guy, extra support drone, not a secret drone. Support drone is one of the engineer class abilities, and that means that you can use the bonus support drone duty officer anytime you have a support drone. Or the .7. Yeah, the .7 Universal Kit Module. That is considered a support drone by the game, apparently. So you can use this to, with that to give you extra support drones. Kind of useful. Now, one thing about this is that notice how I don't have equipment diagnostics as one of my kit modules. I don't. Why? Am I using this that gives you bonus to kit modules? Well, that's because of what support drones do. They actually use equipment diagnostics on you, among other things. I think you can actually use all of these things, and actually, you know, there are actually stops to improve all three of those abilities. I'm not using all of them, obviously. Just the diagnostic engineer for improving equipment diagnostics. But things like this, not all of them will apply to summoned fabrications. This one apparently does, though. So it uses equipment diagnostics on you, and you get this buff, maybe. Quite useful. And again, like I said, I'm using Krieger Wave Disruptor Rifle, so I have a reason to attack with it repeatedly. Anyway, so that's something that's a build that I personally found to be quite fun. The basic strategy with this build is summon your pets, and then shoot at things until either you need to summon more pets or the enemies are dead. As for the melee weapon, why use a sword as an engineer? Well, believe it or not, it's actually related to mortars. Stabbing an enemy in the face it's a weird thing with the AI, that the AI will often run out of the AoE of a mortar because it's like, oh, there's a thing here, I get out of the circle. If you stab them and do melee combat with them, they stop doing that. Some of the time, at least. So, if you're engaging an enemy in melee combat, a lot of the time they'll just try to fight you in melee combats instead of running out of the mortar explosion area. Which, good for you. And again, swords. If you're fighting Borg or certain other annoying enemies that have energy damage reduction effects, swords help. Alrighty then. So that is the explanation for this particular build. Oh right, this thing, triple. It heals you. Anyway, see you guys later.